Best Ball Live, brought to you by DraftKings. I'm your host, Connor Allen from 4for4. And joining me today is the man behind CoachSpeak Index, Greg Branos. Greg, this has to be the craziest time of the year, especially for you and what you got going on at CoachSpeak Index. I can't imagine another time of year where there's like more coaching quotes and everything that's going on, and injuries and small things that could matter or not matter. How are you handling that? And like, how's everything going, man?
Brother, I'm exhausted, but I power through it. I feel like the Popeyes worker meme.
Yep.
Just like on the bench, like, oh my God, I still have many hours of pressers to get back to after this quick break. But it's cool, man. Like I'd rather work 85 hours a week doing this than working 30 hours a week at a Best Buy in Madison, Wisconsin somewhere.
Yeah, I think that's definitely a good alternative there. And for those who aren't familiar, if you're 4-4 sub, Greg is an amazing product called CoachSpeak Index. Pulls all of the different quotes and how much each thing matters on injuries, on playing time, on everything there. And we'll discuss that more. But today we are doing a DraftKings $20 best ball draft, $15 million in total prize. Well, I'm going to hop in here just so that way, in case it takes a second, which drafts are filling pretty quick now, but you never know. And for those who don't know, key differences between DraftKings and other sites: full PPR. You start 3 wide receivers in flex. It's 20 rounds, not 18. It's also best ball. So we draft the team, don't have to touch it. No roster management, no trades, no ads, no drops. And yeah, so I think this is kind of an interesting format here. I don't know. I got to double check how close I am to max entering, but I think I'll get there eventually. And so draft loads up pick 11. Any thoughts on pick 11? Have you preferred to draft from the front or the back mostly so far?
If I don't have the 101, I want to be like pretty close to the back, or I mean, I would say like around pick number 7. But if say like Jahmyr Gibbs falls there, or it just depends. I know drafting from the 11 or 12 spot, I'm going to get 2 elite players there.
Yeah, it is really interesting because I have another draft tonight. I have like a main event draft, with some buddies, and we have the 11th pick as well. So this is a great, little trial run for me here. And I think the 1-2 turn when you have an 11th pick is awesome because you're getting 2 of those receivers, or if you like, A-Chain, or if you like Genty, like there are a lot of really good picks. Like I don't have too much knocking on them, but the problem is the 3-4 turn for me. Like when you have like that, because you're either dragging guys up that are probably like mid 4th. Travion Henderson, I even see go like late 3rd, early 4th at this point. Or you get lucky and like maybe one of the elite quarterbacks fall. Or if you are a Marvin Harrison Jr. or Devontae Adams or, Breece Hall kind of guy, like that range is really tough for me, but we'll get there when we get there. But I don't know if that's been a similar problem for you at all.
Well, there are a couple guys that I love smashing at that 3-4 turn that traditionally have been there. Now, at least one of them is getting pulled up now. So we'll see if he's there at R3-4.
Amazing. Cool, man. Well, yeah, I mean, we got like probably 30 seconds before, maybe a minute or so before, if you want to give people a plug on CoachSpeak Index, would love to let you do the actual, plug there. Cause I don't know if I butchered it, but I definitely didn't do a good enough job to get people talking about it. So.
No, you did great, man. It's at CoachSpeak Index is the Twitter. And I don't put a ton of stuff out actually on the Twitter here and there. I'll put some stuff out there, put something out there on Sean Payton talking about their wide receiver 2 the other day, the day before they traded Devon Vele. But everything that you need to know is in the CoachSpeak Index Discord. I watch every single head coach, offensive coordinator, general manager press conference, and I put every important note from those press conferences into team threads in that Discord. And it's incredible. You get all your updates, on a daily basis. As soon as I watch them, they go in there. And then you can also go back and look at everything that they've said for the past several months, for the past couple of years now. And very, very informative stuff.
Yeah. One of my favorite ways to use it was like in the prop betting market, like on a week-to-week basis, Like it'd be like, oh, this guy's going to play. And you're like, yeah, this coach just lies out through their teeth. Like they don't know what they're talking about, or vice versa. Like, oh yeah, this guy is not going to play. And the market hasn't really reflected that, or maybe it's a backup that's going to get more run, like things like that are super important in the prop betting market that I look at a week to week basis. So definitely like, I scroll through all of make sure to not miss a single quote that you're pulling on there. So yeah, it's great stuff. All right. We are 2 picks away. Nico goes before Justin Jefferson. CMC goes 106. Some kind of, more surprising stuff here. Neighbors, Amon-Ra. So it looks like Amon-Ra just went Neighbors. Derrick Henry, Genty, Puka, Brian Thomas, Drake London, all I think very much in play, honestly, in this range.
Yeah, I love. Did Puka go?
Puka did not go. So we have Neighbors. So it looks like Derrick Henry just went. So we have Neighbors, Genty, Puka, Brian Thomas, Drake London on the board for us.
I'm good with any of those top 3. I know Puka would be my number 1 here, but
let's go Puka. That's great. I guess I was going to say we only draft one team together. This is our second team together because we did one before, but this is our last team probably together this offseason. So yeah, let's get our guys. Okay. Genty, London, Chase Brown, all still available. Looks like,
man, the week 7. Yeah, sorry. The week 17 correlation is really attractive for Drake London, but I think I'm Ashton Genty here.
Okay. Let's do Genty then. I think that, again, like that tier, I think there's, in my opinion, a pretty sizable tier drop after Drake London. And I like Chase Brown. I have a lot of Chase Brown in the early third, mid third.
Same.
I'm not necessarily, and I don't think he's necessarily a bad pick in the mid second. Like, I think he's fine. He's going to catch a lot of balls. He's going to play a lot, but I just don't know if I'm really chasing him up there given my current exposure. Is that kind of where you're at?
Yeah, it's always been this kind of mental block for me when I'm getting a lot of a player at a certain, like a later area of the draft, and then they start steaming up. You have to like really believe. I mean, to take him here above like Brock Bowers, and I'm completely fine with taking him over Jonathan Taylor, but yeah, it's tough for me to take him over AJ Brown, over Brock Bowers. That's I don't know about it.
Yeah, like right. There's other players, yeah, especially Bowers. I think he's, in my opinion, firmly should be in like the Irving, Taylor, Josh Jacobs tier, and just like kind of in there. And it seems like based on the market, he's kind of like risen a little bit above that. He's pretty consistently going ahead of all those guys, which I'm not necessarily sure is like the right answer, to be honest.
I'm really surprised.
Yeah.
Sorry to keep cutting you off.
No, you're good.
I'm really surprised at how much he's risen here because like what is it really based on that we didn't already know? Like these coaches have been telling us since way back, even before the NFL draft, after the NFL draft, after they draft Taj Brooks, they've been telling us Chase Brown. Is it that people weren't listening until now? And then, I guess people are talking about him on podcasts or whatever of what the coaches have said about him. And people are just starting to tune back in to fantasy football this year. Cause the stuff that we saw in the preseason game, like, okay, fine. Number one, it's not like he busted any 70-yard Travion Henderson runs or anything like that. It's everything that we already knew, but all of a sudden he's just shooting up draft boards, which again, like I do take him in front of Jonathan Taylor. I'm flipping him above Bucky Irving in my next rankings update. Like he's one of my flag plants for this year, but for him to go at the 2-4 here it's kind of wild. And this isn't an outlier. It's been happening in a lot of drafts.
Totally. Yeah. So I went on JJ Zacharyason's pod earlier this week and we talked about one of the biggest things that was most surprising to me is that drafters haven't really been counting guys of like Jordan Addison. We knew he was going to be suspended for 3 games, basically all off season. And then as soon as he gets suspended, his ADP falls like 15 spots. Yeah. Like Rashee Rice, we knew we didn't know actually originally he was going to get suspended, but even after we knew he was going to get suspended, people were still drafting him in like the 3-4 turn. And I was like, what are we doing here? Like, this is like and so then now he's drafted like the 5 mid 5th, like late 5th. And I'm like, he might miss 6 to 10 games. Like we have no idea. Like if that comes out, we're toast. So like, I don't know. I just think that people don't react enough. It seems like, to some of these factors. All right, so we're 3-4 picks away. Anyone stand out here to you? Is, Kittle, Henderson, Cook, Tyreek, Mike Evans? I mean, there's a lot of different ways you can go here.
Wow. There really is. I mean, Kittle stands out to me in a PPR format.
Yep.
Here, getting a real nice elite tight end. Mike Evans is intriguing as well with what's happening with Chris Godwin.
Yep. Kittle just went, so it looks like
Okay.
we are on the clock.
Yeah, we can take Mike Evans here.
Yeah, I would go Evans, honestly. I think we have, I mean, he's a little bit older, but we can talk about that after here if we want to. Next pick, I mean, this is kind of the weird part where you either drag someone up like a Tet, maybe, I don't even know, DJ Moore, Devontae Adams, I guess at this point, or we just lock in with a James Cook or Garrett Wilson or any of these guys.
Mm-hmm.
I'm fine, honestly, with most of these guys.
Yeah, what would your feeling be on? For me, I think it's either Jaden Daniels or Tetaroa McMillan here.
I say let's go Tet. I want more Tet. So
yeah,
okay.
This is the guy that I was talking about, who I love at this 3-4 turn, and he is going a little bit earlier in some drafts there. That's also part of the reason why I wanted to take Ashton Genty in the second round instead of Drake London, because this area of the draft at the 3-4 turn is just so barren when it comes to running backs. I feel so. Yeah, I think
totally
out to a real nice start here.
It feels like to me almost, if you're at the back end here, you kind of have to go like, if you don't get a running back in the first 2 rounds, you're basically going 0 RB. I do like some of the running backs in the 5-6 turn that are like, especially they're like some mid-6 guys, late 6 guys. We'll talk about those guys when we get there. But yeah, I think Evans, circling back there, like Ibuka, everyone's seaming him up. Godwin, we have no idea. I mean, he said probably going to miss time until October. They might bring him along even slower after that. Like, you're probably getting like half a season almost of like not 100% Godwin, best case. And even then, like Evans is produced without him. So I think that like Evans is kind of locked in here into a pretty strong role. And then I'd love to hear if you got any like good coach speak nuggets about Tet, this year, because I know there's been a bunch of steam lately, and I'm buying here at this 3-4 turn.
Yeah, there's a lot of great stuff on Tetaroa McMillan. I mean, it starts with when they drafted him, Dave Canales just kept talking about like what a red zone threat this guy is. And then I'm just gonna pull up
perfect
these quotes here from the Discord. Going back to April. Said he's a baller. There's a simple way to look at it when you watch film. The ballers show up and they make plays in big moments, and they're always looking to do something special. And then there was all this stuff last year when they had Deontay Johnson, where Canales was saying, in the pass game, the first thing we're looking for is, where is Deontay Johnson? Like, let's get the ball to him. And we saw that when Andy Dalton came in and Deontay Johnson just got like a crazy amount of targets. I thought that he would say something similar to that effect about Tetaroa McMillan, who's playing in that same X spot that Deontay Johnson was. And he ended up saying something very similar this offseason. I think it was to Kay Adams, or maybe it was a beat reporter or somebody, but saying that like, basically this passing offense flows through Tetaroa McMillan. And it's not just like the intermediate horizontally breaking stuff that is such a good match with Bryce Young. It's also deep stuff, which we saw in the Houston game when he put that double move on Derek Stingley Jr. and just shook him out of his boots, got free downfield, and then Dalton gets hit on the elbow there.
Yeah, I love that. I mean, he does everything that he does well. Match it up with Bryce Young. So, okay, we are on the clock. I mean, a lot of different, I think, good options, honestly, in this range. I highlighted a couple of my favorites, but I'm open to really wherever you would want to go here. I think there's not too many bad choices on
James Conner's pretty nice here, I think.
I think so too. I mean, like, he's old, but he's like, I mean, he's locked into a big workload. The coach speak, right? It's like all like he's the guy. I think even one of the coaches like refuted them saying they're going to get Trey Benson even more involved. Like,
I got some good stuff on that as well. This next one for me is probably, I'm looking at like Travis Hunter or RJ Harvey here. Probably Travis Hunter.
I think Hunter makes the most sense for this build again because it's 3 wide receivers and a flex. Like, just keep adding more wideouts that can really like break the game here. So I'm down to go Hunter if you are.
Absolutely.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, I mean, I think this is a great start right here. We got 4 just awesome wideouts with, massive ceilings on a weekly basis in Puka, Evans, Ted, and Travis Hunter. And then we got Genty and Connor as like a nice stable of running backs that are going to see a ton of work, a ton of carry. So this is like kind of honestly how I've been starting most of my drafts. Not necessarily with these same players specifically, but like that's what I'm trying to do as many as I can, because like some mix of these players, I feel pretty good about like this type of build where you're getting like 3, 4 really strong wideouts and then mixing in some of these like, one hero RB maybe, or even just like I've done like Pollard, Connor at the turn here instead if I've gone 4 receivers, or Pacheco or someone like that, because there's a lot of decent running back talent here too.
Should you want me to run real quick through this James Conner, Trey Benson saga that's been happening? Okay.
Please.
May 28th, head coach, this is all from the CoachSpeak Index Discord, shameless plug. May 28th, head coach Jonathan Gannon says James Conner is getting himself ready to carry the load for us. On July 25th, Gannon was asked whether Trey Benson can take a little bit more off of James Conner's workload this year. Gannon said, quote, "We'll put whoever out there we think can get it done." July 27th, Jonathan Gannon said, "I feed off James Conner's energy a ton, and I think our team does as well. His play style leads to that. It looks good when he's running through people's faces. Guys get juiced about that." July 28th, offensive coordinator Drew Petzing was asked whether James Conner is still the workhorse back. He said, quote, "Absolutely. I think James has proven that over the last couple years, just the way he carries the ball and what he brings to the offense. I think that's always going to be the case," end quote. Petzing was asked in that same presser whether he anticipates Trey Benson having a bigger role than last year. He said, quote, "Yes and no. I think a lot of that is going to be predicated on what we're doing in a given game and what we're trying to accomplish. And again, what we're seeing on defense," end quote. Then on August 2nd, this is not from the Discord, this is from, just online, James Conner said about Trey Benson that, quote, "We're both RB1. He's going to play a lot this year," end quote. And that's when people, the Trey Benson people came out and said, "Look, I told you Trey Benson RB1 along with James Conner." Then 3 days later, Jonathan Gannon was asked whether the message from the coaching staff to James Conner and Trey Benson has been that the Cardinals have 2 RB1s. And he said, quote, "Not from me. It's compete for your role." Probably what they're alluding to, both of those guys, is they both want to play and they both think they can impact the game in a positive way. And I agree with them, end quote.
Oh man, that's just so good. I mean, that's why, it's just such a valuable thing. Like that's felt like a pretty steady drumbeat, all off season. So, it matches up with what we think. Like, I think that James Conner should probably be more towards this 4 or 5 turn instead of a 5, 6 turn pick, if not even higher. Like, I know Kenneth Walker and James Cook have shown a lot more juice in him. And I know Breece Hall, there's a lot of questions about him. I'd probably rather have Conner than Breece Hall right now, straight up, which is a little bit crazy. I know we got Jeremy in the chat, pick 2, he is pick 2. I like that he went Rice and Mahomes, though. That's kind of a fun 6'11". I might be buying Rice at least a little bit. Like, I know it's uncertain, but yeah, I think that's a reasonable buying point here. But
especially with 20 picks.
Totally, exactly. Our we're coming up here. Let's see here. Mason's a guy I've been drafting. Warren's a guy I've been drafting. I don't have a ton of Kelsey. Hawkinson, I think, is fine. There's a lot of kind of dead guys in here as well that I'm a little worried about. But any favorites in this range?
Yeah, Tyler Warren, big flag plant for me this year.
Love that. As long as he makes it through iGrag 93. Okay, we went Cup. I'm down for Warren here if that's interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's go Warren, and then
I think next year. Next up, I'd be very interested in Jordan Mason.
Okay, cool.
Any what else would we need?
So we're at 2 running backs, 4 wideouts, 1 tight end. I would say pretty balanced for most things considered. Jalen Warren is kind of interesting to me.
Yeah, he's the other one I would be interested in here.
Yeah. We don't really need any of these other guys. If we wanted a Baker Evan stack. I mean, that's possible. But I don't know if we got. I was hoping Ibuka would fall to us, then we could go all out on the Bucks. But I think we go Mason here. What do you think?
Yeah, for
Okay.
sure.
Any good coach speak nuggets on Mason that you want to share? I think there's like, yeah, I mean, I've been drafting him as like the 1B, I think, to Aaron Jones 1A, if not more, potentially, and with like league winning upside if Aaron Jones gets injured at all.
Yeah, let me.
And I know I'm putting you on the spot here.
No, it's fine.
You have so many good nuggets.
The Discord up. I'll pull it up right here. Okay. So March 31st, Kevin O'Connell said, quote, Aaron Jones is at his best when we can keep him fresh. We can keep him truly as that 1A because we've got the 1B with him, and that was Jordan Mason, end quote. I do. So on April 1st, Kevin O'Connell, quote, I do think Jordan's going to bring something to the table in those short yardage situations, those goal line situations, goal to go, where we've really left a lot to be desired as a football team, end quote. Wes Phillips in June was saying basically the same kind of stuff. They asked him what excites him about Jordan Mason. He said, I think it just gives you another really good football player we can use in a lot of different ways, some ways similar to Aaron Jones. And then he's obviously the bigger stature back. It also allows us to use both of those guys, whether at the same time or separately, and keep both those guys fresh. So that comment on Jordan Mason being a bigger stature back in relation to Aaron Jones is just another signal that Minnesota is going to use Mason in this short yardage and goal line role.
Yep. And that's key. I mean, like Jordan Mason, I think could legit score 10 plus touchdowns this year, and that wouldn't surprise me, which would obviously be massive. We're getting him in the 8th round as our RB3. And I mean, relatively, I don't know if light is the right word on running back build, but like I feel really good about where we're at, but we didn't invest too much draft capital into it from a draft perspective. And then Tyler Warren, I mean, guy's been shooting up draft boards. I was hammering him a bunch in the hundreds, hitting him in the 90s. And now even when we're on the clock there, I was like, I think he's the best choice on the board. Like a guy that now with Daniel Jones, I think is going to see a massive target share. And I would not be surprised to see him be involved in some kind of scheme touches, whether it's in the backfield, whether it's him playing even quarterback, like who knows? Like I think the sky's the limit.
It's Taysom Hill vibes for sure. They have talked about him, having experience as a quarterback. If there was a line out there on over half a passing touchdown for Tyler Warren this year, I would take the over on that. I think we're talking about him as an elite tight end option next season.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. Like I think the scheme stuff is just like the cherry on top. I think he'd be a very viable tight end 1 without that. And if we get any of the extra stuff, like he's cooking as like a top 3-4 tight end potentially in fantasy.
Those downhill targets that he was seeing in the preseason, or downfield targets he was seeing in the preseason, so bullish for him. Like I was expecting all the intermediate and scheme manufactured stuff, but man, for him to be getting the stuff that Brock Bowers was seeing last season with the Raiders, right? All these like 30-yard chunk plays downfield. That's huge.
Massive. Okay, I think we're in an interesting spot here. If Baker is still on the board at this point, I don't have a ton of Baker, but 107, okay, he just goes, of course. So that would have been interesting. Jaden Reed, I'm buying the dip on in the hundreds. Other than that, I mean, Colston Loveland, I could pair rookie tight ends. That's fine. Justin Fields, we're getting at a discount for, I mean, no reason. He's totally fine at this point, it seems like. So I don't know. Anyone else stand out here to you? I mean,
yeah, I think we have no QB, right? I think I'd go.
No QB. Yeah.
I think I'd go Fields.
Oh, he just went.
Wow.
I know that's really tough.
I mean, Jaden Reed at this spot is pretty nice.
Yeah, I think Reed is probably the move here, and then we can plan on the wrap here if we want to do something else. I mean, because we don't have any stacks with any of these guys, basically. We'd be looking for...
Yeah, we could backstack Drake May.
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to go Reed here at the 11, and then... Yeah, Trevor Lawrence goes. I mean, we probably want to come away with a quarterback here. Yeah. Maybe Drake May makes sense. I think probably May, honestly.
Yeah.
May, and then we go like Henry, and then like Kyle Williams.
Douglas or Kyle Williams, yeah.
Yep. Okay, let's go May.
Where are you at between Pop Douglas versus Kyle Williams?
Um, it's really tough because I have a little bit of both. I had a lot of Kyle Williams early, but him like playing behind, like probably not starting in 3 wide receiver sets to start the year is not necessarily super bullish. I worry a little bit about that, but again, like projectable playing time early in the season is not like the end of the world because I think he's more talented than most of the other guys. So I go back and forth. Like Pop Douglas seemed like got a ton of early hype in the offseason. And I don't know, maybe I just missed it. I haven't seen much lately. Have you been seeing much steam in the last like, I don't know, week and a half or two? Because there was a ton, like crazy steam in like, I don't know, maybe a month ago, where it was like this guy's gonna lead the team in targets and catches, basically.
Yeah, I believe I saw another Patriots beat reporter last week saying that, oh yeah, like Pop Douglas is still tearing it up with Drake.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, then yeah, like I've just been sprinkling them in because I think so, and I want to be more in on this Patriots offense. I think they're going to be pretty solid. Drake may obviously provide some rushing upside as well. Like, I mean, there's a lot of upside I think for this offense. So yeah, like as much exposure as I can get, the better.
He has so much rushing upside. Last season, well over 400 yards rushing, and he only had one design run, and that was around like that was like right around the goal line. So if they just like add any design rushing this year, then we're looking at 600-700 rushing yards from him, maybe a little bit more. He has really good awareness and instincts of when the right time is to take off, just like kind of feeling what's going around or what's happening in the pocket. He does need to refine those instincts a little further when it comes to when to slide, when to get out of bounds.
Yeah.
And it feels to me like they're kind of stressing that to him.
Yeah. And I agree. It's I think they're going to end up drawing up more design runs. Like they've talked about it. There's been some coach speak against it, saying like, well, we don't want our guy to get injured, whatever. But at the end of the day, I mean, they need to win football games, and his rushing ability helps win football games. So I think they're going to probably do more of that. This is a really interesting range right here. These 4 picks in a row: Javonte Williams, Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt at 10-7, Joe Mixon at 10-8, and then Chris Godwin at 10-9. Like,
wow.
At this point, I want almost nothing to do with most of these guys, but like I have plenty of Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt before. I mean, I don't think he's the worst pick in this range, I guess, but like I'm not drafting Godwin, Mixon, or Javonte here.
No, I'm very low. I don't know if I have a single Javonte Williams share this offseason. I mean, year 2 off the injury is when you're supposed to be looking pretty good, right? And now we're hoping that he's now 3 years removed from this injury that sapped all of his athleticism.
I mean, the Broncos like tried to bench him like every other week. Like he was so bad. You know what I mean? Like they tried to bring in, what was it, Tyler Bidet or whatever his name is, like the backup, and they like brought him in and then he broke his neck. And then they tried to bring along like Estime Moore, and then they brought along like it was just, I mean, such a mess. Like
it was one of the best offensive environments for a running back, like one of the top offensive lines in the NFL, and Javonte Williams could not do anything behind it.
Nothing. It was one of my favorite bets each week was just betting the under on the Broncos running back that like had just popped the game before, and they put their line in the 40s, and like the next week they'd get like 4 carries. So it was like it was always nuts.
Yeah.
All right, I don't know what you're doing with Judkins. I think Chubb could be in play. If we want to go quarterback, we could try for. I think Kraft already went.
Yeah, we could do that. We could do Love with our Reed.
Yeah, we have Love with Reed. That would make sense.
We could also like maybe tag on a Romeo Dobbs later as well.
Yep. Yeah, I think that would make sense. I have no idea what to do with Quinshon Judkins. I just kind of haven't really been drafting him, to be honest. I mean,
it's not great that they're in the market for a running back right now.
That's probably signal as well. I'm gonna add Hunter to the queue here. So next go around, we can probably target him. Okay, so Chubb just went. Do we want to go Love here? I think that makes sense.
Yeah.
All right, we'll go Love. So then we got a little Packers stack. We can probably add some Patriots later, and then yeah, I mean we're in a good spot here. 2, 3, 5, 1. We're a little bit light on running back at this point. Just like build wise. Yeah, let's see. Go to running backs.
Is Mondre still there?
Ramondre is still there. Do you want to go Ramondre?
Yeah, let's go Ramondre. We'll
All
pair
right.
him up with Drake May here, and maybe Ramondre, keeps it a little bit of a split. We'll see for how long. I just don't see how he gets like completely phased out of the offense there, right?
Yeah. Would probably require a couple fumbles, right?
Yeah, there are a small handful of players I think in the NFL this year where if they fumble in week 1, they're just dog housed for the rest of the season. Ramondre is probably on that list. I think Tyrone Tracy is on that list as well. I don't know if any, maybe like a rookie like Bashal Tutin, who had issues in college and then in his very first live carry in practice. So that wouldn't be great if that happened to him either. But yeah, I mean, I just don't think they're going to completely phase Ramondre out. I think he'll have spike weeks. I don't know what the goal line. Wow. I don't know what the goal line situation is going to be there, but it's very possible that Ramondre Stevenson could factor in there as well.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, like he's going to play a role to start the season. I think that Travion Henderson's ADP going now to like the mid to late third. I mean, that's tough for me. It's a tough sell. Like, why did he jump 2 rounds after just like returning a kickoff for a touchdown? And then like, I mean, I was buying him in the mid 5th. I think he's like a fine pick in this range, but like, and maybe even this maybe even like mid to late 4th. But like, you're talking about like 3rd round. I'm like
crazy.
Off of what?
Like look, yeah. Some of the players he's going ahead is nuts.
Yeah, I mean, like we got Evans after him. I would rather have Evans. I'd probably rather have Ted after him. These 2 running backs are tough, but maybe like I think that's more in contention. I just love these receivers in this range, to be honest. So I kind of had a tough time drafting him too much, but I don't know. Maybe would have gotten good CLB, I guess, at least. But I mean, like I think it's gonna be more of like a 1A 1B situation for a while until he separates, and then we'll see. I don't know. Is there any? There's not any coach speak to suggest that he's going to be like the workhorse from day one, is there? Right? Like, I mean,
Travion Henderson.
Yeah.
No, there's. Let me pull up exactly what Vrabel said, because this was about Ramondre Stevenson. This was, I think, a couple months ago. This was May 20th. Mike Vrabel said Ramondre Stevenson played extremely fast without the football last season. He has the ability to step up and protect. Quote, he's going to be a large part of what we do, end quote, and we'll have to determine where he's at. That was an injury-related thing. But, I mean, Vrabel has a 40% reliability rating on depth chart CoachSpeak and a 65% reliability rating on usage and workload CoachSpeak. So it's not like we can hang our hat on that, but him kind of putting it. Oh, are we on the clock here?
Sorry to interrupt you. Yeah, we're on the clock. I think I would go with probably Sampson and then maybe Hunter Henry. We could also do Henry and Kyle Williams here on the wrap.
Well, let's take Henry right here.
Okay.
Yeah. Did Bashal Tutin already go?
He went like I queued up like 6 guys and like almost all of them went right in this like range. It was like like basically all these guys. Dobbs, Tutin,
we're back on the clock.
Yeah, we're back on the clock here.
Who are the options here?
I would say, I mean, I like Sampson, Kyle Williams. This thing is solid. Jerome Ford, Algier, probably.
Let's do. Do you want to do Kyle Williams?
Let's do Kyle Williams. Let's keep adding the Patriots.
Super stack. What's our running back situation?
So we're at Genty, James Conner, Jordan Mason, Ramondre. So I don't know. I mean, we probably need 2 more. I mean, we're definitely gonna need 6 in this build.
Yeah.
And we probably want another quarterback, and we could probably take a late tight end. So I think we can like wait on that at this point, given we have Warren and Henry. I think we can take one.
I got a good late tight end.
Perfect. All right, we'll save that for like 18th to 20th round. Yeah. I think in the next few rounds, we probably want like 1 more running back and maybe another quarterback, because of this, it dries up real fast. Let's see here. Who do we? I don't know if we have any other stacking options left. To be honest at this point. Gino. I don't. He TBD on if he makes it to us. He's already like 10 picks past ADP. Stafford, we have Puka, so that would make a ton of sense. Okay. Yeah, decent amount of good options. Yeah, Geno, Thornton, we've been doing some late stacks on. I've been doing a lot of like late Ward and Chig, but Ward's already gone.
Yeah, got a good amount of Ward this season. I some really fun later round QBs in Cam Ward and Geno Smith and Bryce Young.
Yeah, and I have way too much Jackson Dart. I'm just Jackson Dart, Darius Slayton is just like
it's a cheat
probably
code.
In my top 10 highest ownership percentages,
Yeah.
which is crazy. So if I win $1 million this year, you know why. That's probably because of one of them. Or if I'm homeless, that's one of the other.
I love the Slayton pick. He meshes so well with all three of the quarterbacks, like the top three quarterbacks on the roster of the Russ Moonballs, the Jackson Dart just being very aggressive downfield, the Jameis Winston YOLO balls, like that all matches up perfectly with Darius Slayton's skill set. And this is a guy that's going super, super late in drafts.
Totally. Yeah. I think he's just like a perfect best ball pick. Like, I don't know if I really want him that much in redraft, but like, I can't imagine a better best ball pick. Might see 3-4 targets a week, all going to be 40 yards downfield. And if he catches one or two of them, you're in pretty good shape.
And then the rushing upside that you have with Jackson Dart, if he's going to get on the field this year, be really nice if we see him around week 5 or 6 there.
Yeah, I think that's possible looking at the schedule. They're massive underdogs in all of their first 4 games, basically. They're week 5 against New Orleans, 1.5 point favorites. That would be a great spot to intro him. Other than that, it's like maybe a couple weeks after, it's like Philly twice, weeks 8 through 10, I think. So I just can't imagine he makes it through that. Even if Russ is playing fine, like they're going to bring in Dart at some point. So, and for the playoffs, that's why, again, like we're in a spot where that can make a ton of sense. Stafford here probably makes sense for our team. I think we're on the clock.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, Stafford, and then so we're quarterbacks done, 4 running backs, 6 wide out, 2 tight ends. We can kind of go wherever, to be honest.
If we're looking at a running back, I'm pretty big on Rico Dowdle in this range.
Okay. Cool.
He's their third down back there in Carolina. They like his pass protection a lot. They like his receiving chops quite a bit. I think he could give us some standalone weeks there. And then obviously if anything happens to Chuba Hubbard, we saw Rico Dowdle have a pretty nice season last year for a Dallas Cowboys team whose offensive line was actually, struggling quite a bit. I think you might be muted or my ears.
Oh, there we go. Look at that. User error. Muted a little bit. I think that's a great call on Rico. He's just like a perfect, has some standalone value, probably some pass catching upside. If he catches a touchdown, he might pop in our lineup or like a flex, something like that, if we're having a down week or bye. Meanwhile, the contingent upside is massive, as you mentioned, with Rico and Chuba potentially getting injured. It looks like too, we got a notification here mid-draft that Spencer Rattler is going to start the 3rd Saints preseason game. I kind of think the Rattler is going to start the year as their QB1. I don't know what your thoughts are on that quarterback battle, I guess, if that's what we want to call it.
I think that's an indication of where they're leaning towards. If Rattler is starting this week, I know Kellen Moore has, been talking about, how much they want somebody that the team will be able to rally around. I feel like Rattler might be that guy. Like they put a lot of stock into that 2-minute drive that he had at the end of the game last week, that preseason game, that might have kind of tipped the scales in his favor. But they are obviously still going to use this final game as an evaluation. So if Rattler ends up, putting in a really poor performance and then Shuck looks pretty decent, then we're probably gonna see Shuck. But yeah, Debro is right here. Look, they lost Will Clapp for it was him that they lost for the season, right? And then Trevor Penning is dealing with an injury right now. Like, this offensive line could be pretty terrible this year. Like, it would not surprise me if this ends up being one of the worst offenses that we've ever seen in the NFL.
Whew, that is heat. I love it. I mean, one of my first bets I made this offseason was Saints under 5.5 wins. I'm like, how does this team win 6 games? Like, this roster is terrible. I mean, like, so I was very much out there. And so, I mean, now it's like 5.5 minus 190 under, 4.5 plus money on the under. Still think 4.5 might be viable. Like, I don't really see them winning 5 games either. So yeah, I have just serious questions on both sides of the ball for the Saints team. All right.
I think it need to be a scenario where, like, the entire NFC South like meets up for this giant party, and the Falcons and Panthers and Bucks players like all join in on pushing over some old ladies and just some real nasty stuff where they all get suspended for the season.
That's so good. Oh, all right, we're on the clock. Anyone stand out here? Tight ends.
Harold Fannin Jr. Although first, if we're looking at receivers, Torrey Horton is a big guy for me.
Let's do Torrey Horton here. I think that makes the most. I mean, he's just a great addition. We need one more running back, one more receiver, one more tight end. We can probably wait on Fannin. If there's any other running backs, these go by real quick. So this is our last running back pick.
DJ Giddens real big for me.
Boom. All right, done. Yeah, like I think we're at almost the optimal build here, 3-6-8-2. So we can get one more wide out, and we can take Fannin ideally, on the next wrap here, and then we're in a good spot. His ADP is 240, so we should be in a good spot, hopefully. Do you think we're going to see a lot of 2 tight end set? Is that in the CoachSpeak has been through the roof on Fannin, huh?
Yeah, I think we're going to see 2 tight end sets for them. They've been talking about like how that's something that they would like to do with in their offense. They've talked obviously about Harold Fannin being this like queen on the chessboard, which we all know the queen is the most powerful piece. Somebody that they can move around there. I don't think they have many great options receiving beyond Jerry Jeudy, Cedric Tillman, and David Njoku. If this is a team that is going to lose a lot of games, that probably means that they're trailing in a lot of games, and that probably means that they're going to have to pass the ball quite a bit there. Harold Fannin Jr. led the NCAA in receiving yards last year. I think he was like second in YAC last year among just all players, all pass catchers. Just a good receiving option there that you can get super late. And even if Njoku stays healthy for the entire season, which he has not really done in his career, and not even talking about the like fluky, accidentally burning his face thing last year, but all the ankle stuff that he's dealt with. Yeah, maybe it's just it's a Harold Fannin season.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised, honestly. I think that too, like we could probably see a lot of 12 with Njoku and him, and then probably like Tillman and Jeudy, kind of on the outsides there. I think that would make a ton of sense. That's, in my opinion, probably their best like starting set if they want to do that.
Yeah.
And I mean, I wonder how long Flacco lasts too. Let's look up I'll pull up the look ahead lines here on 4for4, and this usually helps me honestly kind of like visualize the season. So we're at, oh boy, this is real tough. Cincy, Baltimore, Green Bay, Detroit, Minnesota. I mean, oof, man.
It's like the Game of Thrones red wedding for the Browns.
That is just tough. Let me make sure we still got a couple more picks to row. Okay, so first off, a low key, I think that they can actually give Cincinnati a run, because I think that Cincinnati matches up just really poorly with them because their defense is so bad. The Browns, if they can run the ball at all, like, and Flacco, like this would not be surprising to see like Cleveland win outright in week 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, even. That's tough. Like, I like that. It's a real tough sell for me, to be honest.
The Bengals have never lost an opener as a big favorite, right?
Yeah, never. Right. Exactly. Like
definitely not in the last year.
Yeah. Like we're looking at the preseason game. I'm looking at the rosters. We do like our offseason show with Ryan Newton and I for Move the Line. I'm like, I think that like Cleveland, their defense has some good players. Like their offense has, not some great players, but like if Flacco keeps them afloat, like they're the perfect team that could beat Cincinnati in week 1.
Yeah.
So I'm probably going to bet that a little money line here. Okay. So do we want Fannin first to lock in your guy and then anyone else that stands out to you here?
Jalen Coker stands out in a big way, but we do have Tedero McMillan. So I don't know if you want to double up there or not.
I mean, okay, let's go. We'll go Fannin here. I mean, when you have a chance to double up on, with receivers without Bryce Young, we have to, right? No, I'm just kidding. I don't think it's that bad of an option. I think
other ones would be like Jalen Knoll.
Yep,
is a fun dart here. KLS could be a fun dart as well.
Pick whoever you want. Honestly, I think last round pick.
Let's do Knoll.
All right, cool, awesome. So, I mean, final roster 3-6-8-3. I mean, receiver room I think is loaded. Puka, Mike Evans, Tet, Travis Hunter, Jaden Reed. Added Kyle Williams to the stack, Torrey Horton, and Jalen Knoll. Running back room, Genty, James Conner, Jordan Mason, Ramondre Stevenson, Rico Dowdle, DJ Giddens. I think that like for our running back room to hit the ceiling, we might need like a Jones, Henderson, Chuba injury, but any of those, and we're in a really, really good spot to have like a borderline elite running back room.
Or Jonathan Taylor, who has missed multiple games each of the last 3 seasons, 16 games missed over the last 3 years, 7, 6, and 3 games.
Totally. And so like we put ourselves in a really good spot to have like some amount of floor between these 3 guys and maybe even Ramondre, and then like some massive contingent upside with like our late running back room. And then tight end wise, I mean, Tyler Warren, Hunter Henry, Harold Fannin. I love that room. Like I think it's again a perfect combination of like massive upside with Warren and I think a reasonable floor. And then Hunter Henry's like a great floor guy in my opinion, with some ceiling with spike weeks with touchdowns. And then Harold Fannin I think is just like all upside. Like I have no idea what to expect, but I love that the upside could be massive for him.
Yeah, I'm loving this team.
Yeah, I mean, anything else in hindsight you would have done differently, or are you just like this is?
I think this is the perfect draft.
Yeah, right. This is it, man. This is great. Yeah, Derek Brown, another wonderful missionary build for Mr. Allen. That's what he calls his build. It's the missionary build 3683. I think Derek was the first guest on Best Ball Live this offseason. And so shout out to Derek. It was a very entertaining show as well. I don't remember what team we drafted, but I have it written down somewhere. But yeah, I mean, dude, this is great, and I appreciate you coming on. This is awesome.
Dude, thanks for the invite. This was so much fun.
Yeah, absolutely. Make sure let everyone know where they can find you. We give a couple plugs here throughout the episode, but I think one last one here at the end of the show is important.
Yeah, at CoachSpeak Index on Twitter, and where it absolutely goes down many hours a day, many hours per week is in the CoachSpeak Index Discord, where again I put all the notes from all of these pressers. A lot of notes that aren't being reported. A lot of notes that have the context that's missing from things that are tweeted out from some of those local beat reporters. So don't be led astray by contextless tweets of I don't even want to name any.
Yeah, everyone knows. I mean, the aggregators are worse than ever. Social media is just like an absolute hellhole. I mean, you have no idea what's going on, no idea what's true, what's not. So I can't recommend anyone, out there like to, go into CoachSpeak Index enough. Like it's just a great source for anything that you want, reliable, exactly what they said, plus some of Greg's analysis. So, definitely appreciate you coming on. And as a reminder to everyone, don't miss out on DraftKings draft one, get one offer. Enter a lineup in the $15 million best ball contest for just $20 like we did, and you'll get another best ball ticket to play for free for a share of $15 million. It's also best ball week. They have a ton of insane promos. So I'm drafting as many teams as I can this week because all the promos are awesome. But thank you all for tuning in, and I will be back next week with another awesome guest. For Greg, I'm Connor. See you all soon.